quote Flynn Rider, "This is the strangest thing I've ever seen." Cryptozoo is an adult animation film with a definite indie vibe. It's already won a few festival awards, but does that really mean it's worth checking out? Cryptozookeepers try to capture a Baku, a dream-eating hybrid creature of legend, and start wondering if they should display these beasts or keep them hidden and unknown. Like I said, this is a weird viewing experience. The art style is beautiful and it's hand-drawn with watercolor accents with what appears to be acrylic on canvas for the backgrounds. It's very creatively executed, and it's obvious a lot of time was taken to create the look and then animate it. There's also a psychedelic feel to portions of this, whether it be in swirling colors or just the odd imagery. The story takes place around the time of the Vietnam War, and there is a group of people that have started a sort of sanctuary to provide refuge for the cryptids of the world. Now, cryptids are creatures that supposedly exist, but have never been proven to exist. Think like a gorgon or a centaur. This sanctuary is called the Cryptozoo. One creature in particular that is desired is called a Baku. It feeds off the dreams of people. It's kind of like this small elephant-looking creature. Our main protagonist wants to save it as she believes that it had visited her when she was a kid and removed her nightmares. But because this creature can take dreams, it can also affect thoughts and memory. And those powers could be used as a weapon. So of course, bad people are also going to be after the Baku. Now we have a chase that creates the central movement for the plot. Despite the art style being extremely creative and beautiful, it's also an assault to the senses at times. And for me, the voice acting is stiff, and it's even ill-timed. It doesn't flow, and it feels very stilted and forced. It's like the actors were trying to time their voices to what they were watching on screen, and they just couldn't get the timing to come out in a natural delivery. This made it really difficult to become immersed in the dialogue and then allow it to suck me in. It's one thing to have great art, but that by itself doesn't really tell the story in this. And there are some bigger names attached to the project, like Lake Bell, Michael Cera, and Zoe Kazan. But I could only pick out two fairly distinctive voices from the cast, Peter Stormare and Grace Zabriskie. Now, I don't fault the actors for the way this is executed because it falls to the director to capture takes that engage and come across in a natural way. Despite the unnatural delivery, there were still moments that created some good humor. There was one point where I laughed out loud because of something a Gorgon had said. It matched my sentiments about another character, but it was also wildly sarcastic and then a bit unexpected. I liked some of the commentary that is being raised with the narrative. We have bad guys who want to use the cryptids for their own nefarious plans, including war. And then you have the people who started the Cryptozoo. Supposedly, they want to protect and nurture the creatures. But when we learn more about the facility, how free are the creatures actually going to be? And this does provide some good conflict, especially as characters begin to question motivations. Now, this is 95 minutes of visual spectacle. This is one of those art house films that you're supposed to like if you're a reviewer. It's risky and bold cinema, and it's the sort of film we're supposed to eat up, even if it isn't really accessible to anybody. For me, visuals aren't enough to fall in love with this and make it worth dropping everything to check out. The pace was fairly slow, and I was struggling to connect with the characters, thanks mostly to the dialogue delivery. Overall, I was entranced with the art style, and I don't believe I've ever seen this type utilized in a feature-length film before. The filmmakers do need to be congratulated for their creative dedication and for taking the risk. Unfortunately for me though, I just didn't connect with the characters and the movie as a whole outside of the art. The story was semi-intriguing, but it also progressed rather slowly, and it caused me to lose interest in what was going on. There is sex, nudity, profanity, and some violence. I give Cryptozoo 2.5 out of 5 couches. So what's a strange movie you've watched? What in particular made it strange? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.